In this video, I'm going to show you how to play Hearts of Iron 4. So for this, you're going to need all the DLCs. When you log into the game, you want to press single player, press new game, make sure on the 1936 start date, and press select scenario. Then you can pick any country you want, but I'm going to pick Germany. The easiest one would most likely be the USA. Then press select country, make sure you're on regular difficulty and historical AI focuses, then press start. Once you get loaded into the game, you're going to see all this. First, you want to click your flag in the top left corner. This shows all your laws, your research. You can get your MIOs here if you click it, and it shows your military staff. So when you log in and get your country, you want to press your flag and go to select national focus. For Germany, you want to press remilitarize the Rhineland. Intelligence agency, when you start the game, you want to make one. Just click create agency and create agency again, unless you want to rename it. For research, this is very important. So on the first one, it doesn't matter what order you do this, but for the first one, you're going to go electronical mechanical engineering. For the second one, you're going to go basic machine tools. For the third one, you're going to go construction. And the fourth one can be really anything you want, but I prefer going artillery first. When you get into the game, you want to press this civilian factory button, or just press the construction button. Then you want to click infrastructure, shift click the Rhineland here. Then you want to shift click again the Rhineland. You shift click because it puts the max factories you can have in that state. So if you click just left click without pressing shift, it's only going to put one. And if you mess up, like you put it in a different state where you don't want it to, you can just press shift right click and that cancels all of them. Next, you want to get infrastructure again, put it in the Moserland, and then do the same thing but with civilian factories. Then you want to do the same thing in Westfalen. You want to put infrastructure and civilian factories. And again in Hessen, you want to put infrastructure and civilian factories. If you really want as Germany, you don't have to, but you can also add a aerodynamics and avionics facility. And also in research, there's experimental facilities. You want to assign a scientist, it doesn't matter, but I'm going to assign Karl Heinrich Immelbecker. And then you want to click this, and it'll give you these projects. In my opinion, the best one to go for first would be Flammenpanzer, but you can also go military engineering vehicles, but you just need to get both of them. I just think Flammenpanzer is the best one to go after first. For military factories, you go to your production, and this is where you organize your military factories and dockyards, your navy, basically all your production. So as Germany, you immediately want to delete close air sport and medium frames. You can even delete small airframes, but I don't think it's a good idea. For Navy, you want to put maximum dockyards on all of your ships, but make sure you're only making one of each type. So you just want to press this minus button and just click the max amount of dockyards. And also make sure to delete light tanks. And you want to make civilian trains, and you want to make anti-air. Put 2 on civilian trains and put 3 on anti-air. Then you can remove some from artillery and support equipment. Missing equipment and production, this isn't really important unless you just literally have no production. No divisions and basic training. So as Germany, you normally want to rush Anschluss. So for no divisions basic training, you want to click train on cavalry brigade and shift click add unit because that adds 5 at a time. Then you want to max it out. Then you want to go to high equipment priority and then change this to 1. No location set. You can put this anywhere. You can't put it in Königsberg and you can't put it in the Rhineland until we remilitarize the Rhineland. So for now, I'm just going to put it in Berlin. Outdated equipment in production, that's just our navy. It's not important. Unassigned divisions. So if you click 1, it's only going to, if you click this, it's only going to assign you, it's only going to give you 1 division. So you want to shift click it, and that gives you all your divisions that you have unassigned. So you want to shift click it, press this because this gives you an army leader, and then you want to click to add a field marshal. The field marshal can give you tons of bonuses, like it gives you 5% attack, 7.5% defense, and then as you fight, like once you fight in Poland, France, or even the Soviet Union, your generals will level up and their attack will get higher. But first you want to press click to assign, and then you want to click Werner von Blomberg. You lose him once you take reorganize the Wehrmacht, but I'm just showing you how to add a field marshal, so that's not really important. Then, for generals, it's the same as the field marshal. You just have to make sure you're clicking your general. Press click to assign, and then you can pick any of these, but I'm just going to pick Gert von Rundstedt. If you press this, it will train your infantry, and if you shift and press it, it will train your infantry till it's maxed. Let me just change this so I can show you. Once you click it, it's going to train your infantry. And this is the max. Regulars are the max you can get your infantry trained to without battles. The only way to train it above this is to be fighting in a war. Unless you get it from a focus. And then sometimes that will give trained troops, like skull troops. So if you press shift click, it's going to train these until regular. And it will only train the these. This is battle plan, so you can press frontline, you can put it on Poland, and let me just start the game real quick so you can see it. So, a battle plan, this will carefully execute battle plans, so it probably won't, your wars won't go as fast, and it will be more careful on, instead of just going full attack. Balanced is just what it says, it's balanced. And aggressive will go just as much as it can. I normally like to have this on aggressive. Flexible cohesion. Cohesion is not really that important, but if you want, you can mess with it. I'm not going to cover it in this video. Naval invasion order. So if you want to, once you do Operation Weserübung or something, and you want to invade Norway, you're going to have to do a naval invasion. So you want to get 4 of these infantry, put them on a naval invasion order. Well, you want to press this button, naval invasion order, click Rostock, and then right click on Oslo. Then with these 2 infantry divisions, you want to press naval invasion order again, click on Rostock, and click on this one beside Oslo. And then for the last one, you want to do the same, naval invasion order, click here, and right click here. Now we're going to get into... This is not how you do Navy, it's just very basic Navy. So on your keyboard, you want to press F2, and this will get you to the Navy menu. Well, I accidentally clicked the wrong one. F2, and this gets you to the Navy menu. You want to left click, drag, press G, since that will group your whole Navy. Bring them to Kiel. And you want to, this is basically a death stack. You want to group all of your Navy, and you can put them under an Admiral. I'm just going to put them under Karl Donitz. Press Strike Force, and just put them in Lower Baltic Sea, this sea, and Eastern North Sea. Because you need naval supremacy so you can do a naval invasion. Then it also needs to plan. So if you launch this right now, it's not going to launch until it is prepared. So you need to wait 28 days for your whole entire naval invasion to go. When you want it to go, you're just going to click this button. Okay, now back to the front line. Offensive line, and if you click this button, your infantry is just going to aggressively battle plan towards wherever you went. Spearhead, that basically just takes all of the provinces that was ordered. Like if you do a spearhead towards here, it's just going to take this area as quickly as possible. Fallback line, this just falls back all of your infantry to where you put it. Like if you put a fallback line right here, on a river, because fallback lines are really rivers are very defensible position, all your infantry will go here and will gain entrenchment once their infantry stops moving. But that works anytime. You don't need a fallback line to gain entrenchment. You just need your infantry to stand still at one area. Area defense, this just gives you the area of your infantry to defend. If you click here, it's going to defend all these provinces. The only really important thing for this is to guard naval bases or coastlines, but they can be really used for anything. I suggest if you do use this, you can use it on like D-Day, or after you get France and the Benelux, you can just get an area defense, put naval bases, and guard your coastline with some bad infantry, like coast guards or something. And then once you get your order to where you want, you can just press area defense again, and your infantry will go there. But I don't own, well, annex Netherlands. Annex France. There. And then my infantry will go over to France and guard the coastline. Well, it won't guard the coastline, but it will guard the ports. And if you go to coastline, it'll guard all the coastline like that. Delete. This just allows you to delete orders. Like you can delete this fallback line. If you have a front line, or well, area defense. If you have a front line, you can delete it with this too. Here, Officer Corps, you get to see all your military high command and your theorists. This is where you have your doctrines. Generally, the best doctrine would be Grand Battle Plan left, but for the Soviet Union, Mass Assault Doctrine right is the best. For the USA, it's also GBP left, or Grand Battle Plan left, or Superior Firepower. Mobile warfare, at least in multiplayer games, is really bad. And if you play right, the Mass Assault Doctrine is definitely very good for defending, at least. But generally, Grand Battle Plan left side is the best. You need 100 army XP to do each doctrine. So let me give myself army XP. And you can unlock them by just clicking it and unlocking. If you do want to go mobile warfare, the best one to go is right side on both. You want to go down Blitzkrieg and Modern Blitzkrieg. And you can do Desperate Defense if you're like very desperately needing manpower, but it's horrible. For Air Doctrine, I normally just go down Battlefield Support. I go down these three, go to Formation Fighting, and then you can just go down the rest. Special Forces, Paratroopers are really good. If you're using them right, you want to get the first one. Then you want to get Combat Insertion. Because if you pair drop behind an enemy, like this Belgium division, if you pair drop behind it, they will lose their organization, and you can click it, and it will most likely lose the battle. For Intelligence Agency, you have all these upgrades, and first you want to take Suicide pills, then you want to take Plastic Explosives, Invisible Ink, Blueprint Stealing, then Localized Training Centers. You can really take any of these. Army Department's also really good, but you just want to immediately get the first 5, so you can get two agents, so you can get collaboration governments on Poland, France, and the Soviet Union is probably the most important out of those. Once you recruit an operative, which I get in a day, you can go to Intelligence Agency, press this little plus, and then you have tons of agencies, or operatives. I'm just gonna click this one, and you can put counterintelligence. This basically allows you to catch other spies from other countries. Like if UK put a spy here, I'd be able to catch it since I have these on counterintelligence. Build intel network allows you to make collaboration governments and everything. Like I can infiltrate Air Force, Navy, Army, and civilian administration. Once I have enough collaboration, I need 35% for this, 50% for this, and 50% for these two. But the best one is having a collaboration government, which you need 2 operatives for. That's why it's not showing. Diplomatic pressure. This is only really good if you're a country like Austria and you're trying to form Austria-Hungary. It can help them accept your demands if you want to annex Czechoslovakia or something. Or if you need to get a non-aggression pact with Japan if you're China or something. Control trade. This is really useless. There's no reason ever to use it. Root out resistance. You can put it here and it'll lower the resistance in the areas. Propaganda. This is again really normally useless. Boost ideology. This is pretty much useless. Quiet intel network. This isn't useless. So if you're in the Soviet Union, the Soviet agency can easily take out your spies. So once you get 50% collaboration, so you can make collaboration governments in them, you want to go to Quiet Intel Network. You won't gain any intel on them, but you also won't lose any, and it's a lot harder for them to catch your spies. If you want to do Occupied Territories, press your flag. You can press Occupied Territories, and you normally want to go to Cavalry Brigade and go to Local Police Force. Then for laws and government, the higher you go on your conscription, the worse your economy and training time is on your infantry. Limited exports. Once you get autarky, well, not autarky, once you do some of these focuses in the 4-year plan, it'll automatically put you to autarky. Once you do autarky efforts, it's going to change your economy law to autarky. But the best ones, in my opinion, is either export focus or limited exports, maybe even free trade, depending what you're trying to do. Then as Germany, you can very quickly get war economy. All you have to do is immediately get remilitarize the Rhineland and then reorganize the Wehrmacht, and then you should be able to get war economy. For military staff, this will get you army experience, and it can give you this stuff like 10% division speed, 10% attack, minus 10% training time, and 8% division organization. But I'm just going to take a little look back so I can get army experience, and you'll see your army experience starts ticking up once you get that. Again, that's the same if you get an air guy or a navy guy. For Air Force, you want to press F3 so you can get in the menu. You want to drag click on all your air, or right click them into Berlin, and shift click pilot exercises so it goes until they're maximum trained, or at least as trained as they can get. And if you want to deploy more air, you can press add new air wing, and then you have all your Air Force. You have to click it, it's going to use some manpower, and you press OK, and then it deploys. You can't use it for a couple days. Yeah, 2 days. And then you can train it, and you can use them on missions like Air Superiority or CAS. The best missions in the game, in my opinion, would be Air Superiority and CAS. With your fighters, you want to go, let me just put this in Königsberg. You would want to put them on Air Superiority. On tactical bombers, strategic bombing is pretty good, but not as Germany, so you just want to go close air support, right click them here. And logistic strike is also really good, but it's not super good in single player. It's more of a multiplayer thing. Military industrial organizations, these are a little complicated, but you can get trait points as you make stuff. So I have Rheinmetall on my artillery, so the more I make of artillery, it'll make a trait point. You see how this is already up to 14%. Once it gets that to 100%, I'm gonna have a trait point, and I can get stable platforms, mobile limbers, or I can get rapid fire, advanced barrel forging, big guns, or 3.7. I'm not gonna pronounce that because I can't. If you press recruit and deploy and you go to division templates, you can press edit, and this gives you the division designer. So in basic, you can add infantry, and you have supported companies, support anti-air, and you can add artillery or anti-air again, and you have these. You can add tanks, or you can add motorized infantry. This is just basically your division designer and what your division will be made up of. So if I save this, all my infantry will be using 2 battalions of artillery, 1 motorized infantry battalion, and 12 infantry battalions. Then it'll be using support anti-air, artillery, and engineer company, which is the same as just this artillery, just it's in a form of support company. And it doesn't use any combat width. And also, don't use this division. This is a horrible division. I was just trying to show you how to use the division designer. Equipment priority, if you have this on elite, that will give all the equipment and your most updated equipment to the infantry division. If you have on default, it's just going to be average priority. Construction, anti-air can be good if you're getting constantly bombed. Supply hubs, if you're in somewhere like the Soviet Union and you need to get to Moscow and there's no supply hubs nearby, you can build a supply hub. And railways, you can upgrade railways to make your supply better. Like, you can shift click this and it'll make it a level 5 railway. This makes it a level 5 railway. And you can click it and also connect railways. Synthetic refineries, this gives you rubber, and it is very good as Germany. It's kind of needed for Germany. Multi-charge large caliber guns, that's not really important, or at least I'm not going to cover it in this video. Naval dockyards, these are pretty important. This helps you make your navy. You need dockyards to produce your ships. Officer Corps, this Spirit of the Academy, you can press bold attack, motorization drive, and maneuver warfare. In my opinion, if you're going mobile warfare, that's the best ones to go to. But you can look at the buffs it gives, like stack warfare, 10% entrenchment and max entrenchment, flexible organization, plus 5% division speed, org when lost, minus 15%. But in my opinion, this is the best. For Air Force, you always want to go air crew surveys, and you want to go centralized control. That's just my opinion, but I think it's the best. Now, that's mostly the basics of Hearts of Iron 4. This is going to be a couple part series, so there is going to be more parts of this. If you want to see more content like this, check out my channel. And I'm sorry that I changed from Resonations content. I'm also going to be doing that too, but this is a little bit of a change.